Hey friends, it's a beautiful Saturday morning. I was just working with a real cool friend online, doing online lessons, which we can do if you ever want to hook up personal one-on-one Zoom lessons. I'm your man. But we were working on like Bob Seger and the Silver Mullet Band. Silver Bullet Band. We were doing the song Against the Wind. Excuse me. But we're trying to figure out how, we got two questions here. One is how many measures is each chord held? You'll see a lot of charts out there that will say G, but it won't really tell you how many measures that is. And here it just says, seems like yesterday, it's a G. Is that one G? Or I think it's two. I'm not super familiar with the song. It'd be like... Jeez. So it's kind of a messy, big verse, you know. I'm not exactly sure if that was right, but I'm going to solve that question for my friend. I'm just going to go and count how many beats are on each chord. So that's something, if you're looking at a chord chart, you have to know how many beats are on each chord. And if, you know, sometimes it's a Beatles song that goes from 9/8 to 7/8 to 3/4 to 4/4 time and to 2 with a measure of 2/4 thrown in here and there. But, you know, most of us like good 4/4, straight 4 on the floor, rock and roll, straight up. But it's not always that simple. So if you're working on a song, that's something that I could help you with, or you could learn to count. All right, my friend was also asking about some picking, and I like that word, you know, I want to do some picking. I'm like, picking, does that mean like you want to go... But what I think people mean when they say picking, they mean something like a... So I think a better word might be, well, it reminds me of finger picking, like some sort of a right hand picking pattern. But if you're using a pick, the pattern I thought would be nice to practice is like... That's what I'm getting at here. Yikes. So I'm picking the bass note of the chord, G, then third string, second string, third string. So there's the first 4 notes of the pattern. And the second 4 notes in this pattern would be first string, second string, third string, second string. Put it all together. think putting your hand on the bridge helps you find those strings. That's why I keep, with my students, oh no, another rant. The student will naturally start here, and it looks like, I'm amazed I did that well up here, because you've got nothing to anchor your hand on or kind of gauge or regulate the depth of how far the pick moves. Here, you've got a reference point. So you can kind of judge how far to move. So with students, this is going to sound grim, but you know, they keep going up here, and I'm like, go here, please. And they're right back here. Like, we spend the lesson playing, hey. And when we're doing it online, I kind of reach. No, you get the idea. Putting your hand back here solves a whole bunch of technical problems. You can see the wood is kind of like darkened from my hand sitting there. I suppose that's human oil coming through. I'm sorry. You also get it on your rosewood fingerboard. But it does prove that's where my hand sits. With that picking pattern, you find the bass note, and then, so the next chord, B minor, the bass note is the 5th string, 2nd fret B note. Then the C chord. Get that C note for your bass note. Alright, so for my friend, I'm going to solve, he's going to write out how many measures each chord gets. I'm going to write it out. We're going to compare notes. And he's going to work on that picking pattern. So I just thought, that's a great idea. These are his ideas, and my ideas kind of combined, and that's kind of how I operate. Is I just wait for it. I'm just waiting for a killer question from a student, and then I'll base a whole. I'll write up several, PDF papers on that, and or teach it. Add it to my curriculum and teach it and show everybody, and make a video or two, and dispense that, spread that information out when somebody has a good question. That's kind of how I do it. That's how I operate. And I've got my ideas of what we need to practice too. But I'm kind of driven by questions. So I appreciate your question if you have some. I like hearing them. And I did sell one of my books recently. It's called Guitar Chords by Brook Hoover. And so I'll put a link at the bottom of this video in case you're interested in a chord book. And it is the world's best chord book. Maybe. Okay, that's it. Keep rocking.